Happy Pride Month, my bookies! I cannot believe June is here. And we're gonna get straight into it today because I have so many great queer book recs coming your way. So grab your blanket, grab a drink. If you're like me, I love to watch my YouTube bookies with a Switch in my hand because I love playing my game while I'm listening to my friends talk about books. So we are going to have all sorts of genres, probably really heavy on the fantasy and the sci-fi, but I have, and romance, to be honest, because you love me some good romance. But we're also going to have horror and lit fic and all of those beautiful books in here. Maybe some classics, we'll see. So let's jump. I will always talk about Strange and Shepherd, Endurance, and All the Hidden Paths by Foz Meadows. I think Foz Meadows is such an underrated author, and I've not even read all of their work yet. But in this book, we do have a political marriage. Velicen and Cathari, and Velicen's kingdom does not know that he is gay. Is discovered because basically he is sexually assaulted, and so I am going to tell you right off the bat to be your triggers with this, but it is such a beautiful story. And so he was originally supposed to marry a woman from the fellow kingdom, but now he will be marrying the brother instead. Get married, and there is some type of group or human that is out to kill them. And so not only are we watching Belson go through the grief and healing of being SA'd, but also having this new political marriage, and then on top of it, being potentially unalived. And so they're going through a lot. I will say that their love is so tender. I love the found family in this book. We have some great representation all across the board. Definitely pick up this duology. Andrew Joseph White. I love this author so much. I love his work. His work is so visceral. Of course, with any of his work, you do need to check his trigger warnings. He has 3 YA books currently. He also has another one coming out and 1 adult book, but they are all very visceral and really good. The Hell Followed With Us is the first of his work that I read. I absolutely loved it. This is a cult story and we're following a trans boy named Benji. That's all I'm going to tell you. Then we have The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. This is the second book that I read by Andrew Joseph White, and I didn't love it as much as I did Hell Followed With Us. Of course, I still recommend it though. And we are in the 1800s and we're following Silas, who is a trans boy. And let's just say he gets put into this house because it is claimed that he has the veil sickness. And of course, it's just as fucked up as you think it would be. And there's a bit of like ghost aspect to this book as well. Then we have Compound Fracture, which I love this book so much. In this book, we're following trans boy Miles, and he has just come out to his parents, and there has been this feud going on between him, his family, and another family. And it is set in the Appalachian Mountains, and this book is done so well. It is so damn good, and just up there as one of my top favorites. Now, this is my favorite from Andrew Joseph White. It's You Weren't Meant to Be Human. And in this book, we are following Crane, and he is a trans man, and he has kind of himself in a predicament. Let me tell you about this hive. This is part of the blurb. It says, festering masses of worms and flies have taken root in dark corners across Appalachia. In exchange for unwavering loyalty and fresh corpses, these hives offer a few struggling humans salvation, a fresh start. It's an offer that none refuse. And so Crane has taken that offer because he really just wanted to unalive himself. And when I tell you this book is like again depraved, it absolutely is. And the thing with this book is like not really getting a lot of world building. It's actually relatively short, but when I tell you that Andrew Joseph White does not shy away from such important topics, beautifully written, and it broke my heart. And yeah, I don't recommend this one lightly. No one should be surprised when I'm talking about the Locked Tomb series. Tamsin Muir, we need the 4th book. Please give it to us. But this has the really popular tagline of lesbian necromancers in space, and that is true. But this is not a romance trilogy at all. This is a sci-fi trilogy, and it is heavy on the sci-fi. So here's my thing. A lot of people get frustrated with this trilogy because you're getting confused. It's meant to be that way. And so I just want you to know it's okay to be confused, but go with it. This is laugh out loud funny. Gideon is my favorite character that I've ever read about. I love Gideon. I love her so much. I want to be her best friend. She's such a badass and so deeply flawed and so deeply funny and so deeply relatable. Obviously, in each book, we are following a different character. That's why we need 4. I need to know. But if you are looking for a sci-fi that will just make you really want to dive into the world, there is a wide cast of characters. We are following all sorts of people. It is just fantastic and so well done. Book romance reader, I think you'd actually really like this. Let's talk about Harley LaRue. I adore Harley LaRue. I love their work. I still have not read Losers Part 1 or 2, but you did just come out with some new covers. I really enjoy the old ones, but I don't know if I should get the new ones or the old ones, but let's talk about their work. So this trilogy is the first that I've read of their work. I really enjoyed this first book, Her Soul to Take. This is a demon, dark, paranormal romance. heavy on the spice, so if that's not your thing, well, now you know. Didn't love book 2 as much, but then book 3 was my favorite actually of the trilogy. It was so good. Like these first ones I annotated. This one I just read via audio. I was like, I don't have time to sit down. They're so good, but we mainly have bisexual representation in these books. LaRue just writes them fantastically. I love me a good demon book all day. And the most recently I read House of Rain, and this book is just absolutely stunning as well, but this is one of their sapphic releases. We also have some bisexual representation in this book as well. This has like paranormal-esque. Again, this one is very heavy on the spice, and the plot to me, like, pretty obvious. And so I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, I was in it for the romance. That's what I was here for. It was so good. It did not disappoint. And we do have like religion is heavy in this book as well, because it plays into the main character's life and like she's gotten to where she is. It's just mwah, chef's kiss. Providence Girls. I love this book so much. This is a special edition that my friend Matt got me. It is so good. I'm just going to read you the blurb because it's really going to bring you in. It says, love changes you, so do the outer gods. Now, alone in a cottage, Lavinia writes to the woman she loved. 15 years ago, middle-aged Lavinia Watley escapes her hilly Massachusetts town when the townsfolk decide to sacrifice her on Halloween. After almost dying in the woods, she's saved and housed by the stoic and mysterious Azzy. On the coastal outskirts of East Providence, they start to fall in love. However, things change when Azzy, with her secret past and the strange scars on the side of her neck, begins to transform into an eldritch creature of the deep. It's so good. The yearning is so good. It's very short. So if you're someone who like really wants to go in depth, this is not going to be for you. But I will say, if you want something short and impactful and just like the love, so good. This is a new release, The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. This is a historical fantasy and I really enjoy it. I read this via audio the first time. It's one of those books that I want to reread and annotate. But in this book, we are Professor Sebastian. We're in the 1700s and it is a dual timeline. So we're seeing him in the present and seeing him in the past. 20 years previously, he was a part of this hunt for this beast. And it was, as you can imagine, pretty horrific. Now following him in the present, he being summoned back to help because the beast has come again. And of course, this is bringing up all sorts of memories. One of those memories is his estranged lover. And so he is being called now in the present to help with his estranged lover's son. And it is a little bit messy. It definitely is, but it's also dark and very, like, the yearning is so good. There's secrets. He's got this side character that I absolutely love and I found so funny. But this is one of those books, it's kind of like, for me at least, it was a bit of a slow build, but so good. And I love fantasy. I thought it was done. And then we have Love Galaxy by Sarah Branham. This is the first book in a series. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or a duology or how long it's going to be, but it's so good. It is a reality dating show set in space, and we're following two twins who essentially need to be married off. So their mother gets them to do this show, and they're each dating a group of individuals, and you know, any reality show, right? But when one of those individuals, one, does not want to be part of the show, her little brother wants her to be part of the show, she ends up making it on the show, and she's the love interest basically of both of these twins. And so you can imagine it's a little bit messy, but I thought the plot was done so well. It was never lacking. Sometimes in sci-fi or fantasy books, even if they're considered romantasy, sometimes I feel like authors can still hyperfixate on the romance a little bit too much. I thought this was like, well, it is so funny. It is so good. People in the show are dying, and so we're also trying to figure out who's doing that and what's happening there. I am itching for book 2. This was probably one of my favorite reads of this year so far. Butter Honey Pig Bread is so good. This is a standalone, and we are following twins again and their mother. So we're following all three of them. We one of the twins is a lesbian and one of them is married, and so they're very opposite in a lot of ways, but generational trauma, but also the twins and their love for each other and their relationship with their mother. And I thought it was done so well. Like, I'm not stop tapping it. Also, the food in this book, delicious. I'm just telling you, if you're a foodie like me and you like reading about food, you're going to love this. This is so good. It also made me really emotional. Please Excuse Our Confusion by Jasmine Cartwright. So I wanted to mention this one. This is a YA book, but actually the girl we're following on the book, her parents are both men. And I found like that so beautiful to see. And they are like a part of the story. So it's not like they're just mentioned once, but we get to learn their love story and like what it looks like. But I always love to see representation in books like that. And while it may not seem like a big deal, I think that showcasing families who are all different is so important, and I thought Jasmine Cartwright did a really great job. One of my other auto-buy authors is River Solomon. Now, there's one of their books that I didn't absolutely love, so I don't own it anymore, but these are the two that I absolutely love. So Model Home is the most recent one of their work that I've read. It was actually the last of their work that I read, so I was really sad to be done with their work. But then there's also Sorrowland, and these are both very impactful for different reasons. So Model Home is a bit of a haunted house story, but not like necessarily house being haunted in the way that you think it is. And so I always say that because I know some people think it's going to go into it and it's going to be like this really strong like paranormal house situation, but it's haunted because of the atrocities of our society and racism. That so just know that going into it. But you are following a group of 3 siblings. Their parents have passed, and so you're discovering what happened with their parents, and we're seeing all of their trauma growing up. The main character is parent, so that was the part that I was not anticipating because I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. It was such a really great and interesting part of the book because we're also watching them go through their trauma, discovering what's happening with their parents, kind of after their parents are gone, but then having to be a parent on top of it and what that looks like. And I really appreciated it. And then in this book, we are watching a young woman who has been a part of a cult. She escapes the cult, but she's also pregnant and has twins. And this was so good. This was their first of their work that I've read, and it was fantastic. It's actually one of those books that I want to go back and reread, but I enjoyed it so much. The ending, I still think about the ending. Like, you get to the end of a movie and it is so powerful and so strong. That's how this was. Like, it felt like I was watching a movie. Fantastic. It's so good. It's also sapphic, and I just thought it was great. And we have great representation as well. Like, our main character, she is also blind, and so I love seeing that representation as well. But man, River Solomon just has a way with words. The book that I stop thinking about this book. It's been almost 2 years since I've read it, and it is fantastic. This really is a book about grief and about acceptance and love, and really walking with people in our lives through all different seasons. And literary horror, I would say for me, it's a little bit more literary than horror. There are horror aspects, so, but this is just beautiful, and it broke my heart. And it's one of those books that I want to reread, but I know it, like, I want to tell you guys, like, I saw while I was reading this book. I just don't know. I think I need a little bit more time to be away from it before I come back, but it is fantastic. And I think that if you like literary horrors, I would definitely give this. Now, Moonflow, I actually read this one as an ARC, so this is my little trophy. It is weird as hell. Okay, you are on an acid trip. Let me read you this blurb. It says, they call it the King's Breakfast. One bite and you can understand the full scope of the universe. One bite and you can commune with forgotten gods beyond human comprehension. Sarah is a trans woman who makes her living growing mushrooms when a bad harvest leaves her in desperate fix. The lure of the King's Breakfast has her journeying into the vast uncharted woods where it grows. But as she descends deeper, she realizes she's not alone. Something in the forest is waking up. It's hungry and it wants her. Listen, there is a weird cast of characters. They've all got really interesting names and are all very interesting. I love this. I always say you've done acid, but I feel like this is what it would be like. And this is going to be for people who want something really, really weird and really strange, but like in the best way possible. Loved it. So Devon and Kristen Plan a Wedding. This is another really great reality TV show based romance book. So essentially, individuals go on the show and they have to convince their families that they're in love. If they're found out, they don't win the $100,000. And watching Devon and Chris fall in love was the cutest thing ever. You can imagine that it's messy and there's lots of drama, but the way that these two women care for each other made me so happy. Like, I tell you, I was kicking my feet. It is such a great standal. These are 2 books that I never see people talk about, and I really wish people would. This is more of a love story than it is a romance, but it's really about friendship and safety and finding comfort in somebody else. So A Series of Rooms and Windows by A.J. Barlow is fantastic. This is the first book. This is a little novella that comes after. But in this book, we're following Liam. He's out for his 21st birthday, and he's out with a group of friends, but I really wouldn't consider them friends. They're really a bunch of assholes. But they're like, hey, Liam, we hired you somebody for the night. Little does he know that the boy that he met in the bathroom is the one that they had hired out. And his name is Jonah. And Jonah is just trying to survive. He has been in this life and other people for a long time. And it's not because he wants to do it. And it's actually really heartbreaking and very sad. But whenever Liam walks into the room and they see each other again, it is a safe spot for Jonah because it's not sexual in nature. They comfort and intimacy in each other. So they actually start meeting up every single week. And the thing is, Liam pays for Jonah to come because Jonah has to pay the person that's basically pimping him out. And they just start this friendship, and the love that grows between them is beautiful. And then we are following the little novella afterwards and their life after, everything kind of happens in this first book. And it's just so beautiful. And the way that AJ Barlow showcases our characters with so much tender and love, I love it so much. James Baldwin is one of my favorite authors. And of course, I have to mention Go Tell It on the Mountain and Giovanni's Room. These are so good. This is the first of James Baldwin's work, and it is very heavy on the religion aspect, but also sexuality is a prevalent theme in this book. And then, of course, Giovanni's Room, which honestly pissed me off when I read it, but it is just one of those books that will always stick with you, so I have to mention James. For this last bit, I'm just going to rapid fire some book recommendations, because here's the thing, I could be talking all day. I could, but let me rapid fire a few of really great queer books. Girl Dinner by Libby Blake. We have a sapphic relationship in this book. Isn't it obvious? Both of our characters are bisexual, but there are also other representation in the book as well. If you're looking for Regency romance, please check out TJ Alexander. One of my all-time favorite authors, Sonita Reyes. Their work is so fantastic. They're all YA except this one. This one's more like new adult. Make My Own Fun by Hannah Beer. This is a sapphic, hella messy lady stalker. Canto Contigo. This is a YA romance book, but heavy on the Greek. Akweke and Meze. They are one of my also auto-buy authors. This is a poly situation, and this is some of their YA. If you're looking for a wonderful sapphic trilogy, it's going to be Tasha Suri. Also, please read Isle in the Silver Sea. I love that book so much. Okay, friends, we're gonna stop there. I hope that you can find some recommendations in here. I could give you about a million more, but there's truly no reason to not be reading queer books all year long. I hope that you find some favorites. Thank you for watching.